Welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris, and in today's video I'm going to try and answer a question I had before I bought an Autocue. Does an Autocue help you make better YouTube videos? Stick around to the end of the video where I'll show you a direct comparison between using and not using an Autocue to make your YouTube videos. Up until a month ago, I'd always made YouTube videos in the same way. I'd come up with a topic or product to review and sit in front of an already rolling camera whilst I just said what came naturally to me. I really enjoyed this way of working as it didn't require me to write a script. I'm not a strong writer, and I felt as though writing a script was just a waste of time. There's two problems with this way of working. The first is that because I'm just talking off the cuff, I would constantly stumble on words or thoughts getting mixed up in my head, so I'd have to re-record the same section over and over and over again until I got each section right, and then I just hide the transition with some B-roll. The second problem is that I would sometimes miss out really important sections of the video. Because I had no guide to what I had and hadn't said, I did get seriously confused, and I think this came across in my videos. In my mind, this was still a better way of making videos, as I couldn't ever imagine spending the amount of time needed to write scripts. Finally, when people use an Autocue system, you can tell. They look like they're looking either directly through the camera, or you can see their eyes moving from side to side, probably like you can with mine now. It's subtle, but I don't want my audience to think that I'm just reading something instead of fully engaging with them. But about a month ago, I bit the bullet. I bought a fairly cheap Autocue system after seeing it on my friend Adam's channel. There's a link in the video description.
Hi Adam.
When it arrived, I thought I'd made a mistake. I didn't even take it out of the box for the first week. Why have I bought this? This isn't me. Why am I trying to do something that doesn't come naturally to me? But then I thought, what's the harm in trying it? So I set it up, sat down at my computer to write my first script, and the first video I used it on was picking the best camera for live streaming in 2020. But at first I was not a fan. As well as not being the best writer in the world, I'm also not the quickest reader either. But then I found an amazing app called PromptSmart. This isn't an advert for them, but I did find that app really helpful. It essentially listens to your voice and moves the script downwards for you, depending on how fast you're speaking. So it didn't matter that I was a slow reader. The next line I needed was always there ready. Since then, I've scripted every one of my videos, including this one, and I have to say what I'm losing in the time it takes to write the script, I feel like I'm gaining in quality. So let's talk about the two problems I had with making videos off the cuff. Firstly, having to refilm the same section over and over again. This does still happen when I get lost reading a script or stumble on a certain word or phrase, but because I already know what I want to say, I don't have to think about it on the fly, and I can make sure my delivery of those thoughts is clear and concise beforehand. The second problem, leaving out important information. This is a thing of the past because I can structure my script and write bullet points which tell me what I have to cover. I feel like my videos are filled with more value and less waffle. So now I want to do a test to show you how an Autocue system can improve the way you come across on YouTube. What I want to do is try and talk off the cuff about this monopod with no script and no help. And then after that, I'm going to write a script about it. So this is a Manfrotto monopod. Hold on. So this is the Manfrotto MVM500A, and it's an amazing piece of kit. I've owned it for, I don't know how long I've owned it for. How long have I owned it for? About 4 years. Right, start again. So this is the Manfrotto MVM500A monopod. I've owned it for about 5 years, and I go through them like sweets. Wait, stop. I want to interrupt myself. You might have just noticed that I made a mistake. I first decided that I'd owned it for 4 years, and then in the second section, I said I'd owned it for 5 years. This is a common problem when you're not using an Autocue. You easily get confused and mixed up in your own thoughts. Right, back to the video. I constantly break them, I constantly lose them. I've bought about 5 of these since I started doing video production, but this one's lasted quite a long time and it's got a really nice foot on the bottom of it. All of these monopods, if you buy them new, come with this pan head. We use this for every wedding that we ever shoot. See, I just get lost and I don't know what I want to say about it. Let's try the version with the script. Let me just write it quickly. This is the Manfrotto MVM 500A, which comes in at a price of £169, and it goes up to a maximum height of 2 meters, which makes it perfect for many filming situations. I've owned and used this monopod for years now, and I don't leave home without it. Coupled with a gimbal, this is really a force to be reckoned with. It allows you to replicate so many complicated camera movements that you couldn't do without it. I've gone through quite a few of these monopods. Let me tell you about some of the accidents I've had. The first was that I was filming a couple at a wedding out in a big cornfield when I decided to take the Crane 2 off of the monopod. I left the wedding thinking everything went great until I realised that I didn't have my monopod anymore. I went back the next day to find that it had been run over by a tractor. The second time I broke one was at another wedding in Ireland. This time we were on the beach. I didn't really... Was that better? I think so, because I can cover every aspect I want to talk about in less time and less attempts. Even when it comes to editing, it's so much easier because I can just look at the audio and see the individual sections when I'm talking and cut out the dead space in between. Generally, I think it does take more time, but I think the product you produce at the end is leaps and bounds better than something you just make up on the spot. I hope this video's helped you make up your mind on whether you want to use an Autocue for your future videos. It's personal preference at the end of the day and how confident you feel in talking with no prompts. For me, I'll be sticking with the Autocue for the foreseeable future. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and before you go, I just want to invite you all to join my new Facebook group. It's a place where you can ask me questions, request videos, and essentially become part of the community. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again really soon.